This field has waited for months through the cold and winter of the Midwest to come down to Austin in the sunny and bright weather and finally wrap up the weekend, the first of 2021. We'll race again at MCM Motorsports Park in April, but for Austin, Texas and COTA, the GP circuit, it's the final race of the weekend for Grid Life Touring Cup. Jeremy Swenson's thunderous Corvette will take us to the green alongside Eric Meadows' Duratec Ford Swap Miata. Green flag is going to be in the air here in just a moment. Poison on the outside in the second row alongside Hertel, and it's a long drag down to those starting lights and the green flag. There it is. Green flag flies. We're racing officially. GLTC at COTA, right? Race 4.
Look at Swenson, cheeky with the low roll up to turn 1 in the green flag. He gets a nice jump, and so do all the cars with the rest of the torque. Look at Poison in the RSX around the outside, side by side with newbie Austin Hertel up the inside in that 370Z. That's a killer start up to second.
I think that Brian DeFries had to get on the clutch down there in turn 1. He was going so slow. Look at Poison up to second place, and here comes Aaron Lichty. He went the long way around and made up a whole bunch of spots. Catil stuck in traffic behind a 3-wide situation. Really dicey there. Tab on the inside, Heitkotter on the outside.
Wow, that was close between Meadows and the Silver Miata and Heitkotter there behind. But Lichty tends to be a little more conservative. He was feeling a little nervous starting in the middle of this pack, having been pretty much away from everybody all the time, and that's a killer start for that car. Eric Catil cannot figure out a way past these cars. They're still almost 3 wide through turn 7 and 8, a massive curb hop.
Yeah, he took a big chunk of curb there, and he's been fighting some issues all weekend related to mechanical things breaking, but he's got the hybrid racing guys helping him out. To the outside now of Heitkotter down to turn 11. Lap 1 here, Tom. It's all sorts of chaos here in the braking zone. Tab on the binders to get by Emil Tab, but looks like Swenson's checking out for now.
He certainly is. I was going to say the same thing. And look who's joined the battle with the Catil. It's McGrew around the outside of Joel Morrison. Brian Heitkotter goes way wide through the grass. Catil gets him on the acceleration down the back straightaway for the first time. Emil Tab in the white Miata is having a go at Eric Meadows up the road just a little bit, but a big sort. And Luke McGrew's making pretty good progress.
Yeah, I didn't see how that sort of formulated there as we watched that drag race between that 14 car, the white Miata, and the silver MX-5. I didn't see how they got into that situation, Tom, but you can't run wide and gain an advantage. I don't think Eric Catil really gained any time there. I don't think they'll call that, but you can't run 4 tires off consistently. Look at Catil, tried to go middle 3 wide, almost made it work. Door slam shut. Tab and Meadows almost had a hole there that Catil wanted to explore. He couldn't get there. Now crosses over, takes a position, and here comes the Hertel car in the back of Poison and Lichty ready to party for second.
Oh, around the outside, Catil goes high on turn 15, and normally we say the front-wheel drive cars don't get off these corners very well, but he does not seem to be having that problem. Look at that thing. It's like it's got a turbo all of a sudden. Just leaps ahead of Eric Meadows, and he's up into, I think, the top 5, but they have a little bit of track up ahead. We can't even see Jeremy Swenson anymore, so that's a second-place battle and a fifth-place battle for him.
We'll keep an eye and see if Swenson gets run back down behind Eric Catil. It is a hornet's nest behind Meadows. Tab and Heitkotter has recovered after the big slide. The 3 cars wide at the exit all the way over the rumbles. Heitkotter had a look at Tab. Here comes McGrew from the back with the grid. Where did he come from? Charging through the field in that Duratec Miata. Here he comes. Big slide for Meadows at corner exit. Lap 1 complete, and it's all sorts of chaos at the front of the field.
The torque of the 370Z makes up for any conservation on the brakes. Again, no ABS functioning in that car. McGrew has the ABS. You saw how that worked out for him. They're 2x2 up the hill, and then an attack for second. Austin Hertel tries the high side around turn 1. Over-under, it's Jeremy Poison. Can he get the run down the hill? Not quite.
Doesn't look like he does. Meanwhile, Heitkotter trying to defend the inside from Luke McGrew. McGrew goes the long way around in the first corner, gets a spot. He's got that car tacked up, and it is flying right now. His teammate in front of him, his friend from West Virginia, or the West Virginian crew, but Eric Meadows is actually not from West Virginia. I think he's one of the only guys that's not, but they're line astern now and right on top of each other as they've got Tab that's next on the hit list. Look at Catil now closing in on Lichty.
He's going to surprise him up the inside. This is his favorite move. He's made comments about how many times he's tried it. It works once more. He closes the door on Lichty easily, and we should have mentioned earlier on, Catil, with as bad a weekend as he had, did set the fastest lap and new track record of GLTC here at COTA in race number 3. So that thing is back in on full song. He has easily cruised past and pulled away from Aaron Lichty, who might be struggling with the higher temps here in this final race of the day. Catil is really on the back of Austin Hertel, who had some serious tire problems by the end of race 3. Does it again. Look at the big slide.
Huge slide, and he goes over left. Catil goes the long way around, and they're going to drag race now. This is a Honda Civic versus a Nissan 370Z. Now remember that Civic motor, it's not really a Civic motor anymore. It's a K20 that's in that car, and now alongside the V6 rumbling in that 370, and here comes the Aaron Lichty machine. That Porsche Cayman. It's been rock solid out front all weekend long, but now he's on the attack.
Almost 3 wide. Hertel in the middle once again. Last time they were in this position, Eric Coutil had a little bit of contact and ended up off the track. This time they keep it clean. Coutil picks up the position from Hertel. Lichty backs out just a little bit, and that's gifted Jeremy Boysen probably 3 or 4 more corners worth of breathing before Eric Coutil runs him down, because that car seems unstoppable.
Joel Morrison in the background slow, so he might have a mechanical issue in that green and black S2000, but he's still sort of up to pace. We saw Aaron Lichty almost get into the quarter panel of Hertel there, so he was smart to back out of that. That would have been a little bit too late for me. Out front, though, can Swenson run away from the charging Coutil? I don't think he's going to have enough time to stay out front. Coutil's flying right now, but there are cars between him and that race leader.
Yeah, it's going to be close. We're closing in on about 10 minutes to go in this race, and he's going to have to make quick work of Jeremy Boysen. He's already caught, and look, to the back bumper is Eric Coutil, trying to salvage the weekend with a win here in race number 4.
Now drag race up the front straightaway. Start a lap over again, 3.5 miles till we'll see the next one, and he's in the slipstream. That RSX is a big car. Coutil's sits very, very low to the ground, aerodynamically super efficient, but Boysen going to go defensive into the first corner. Over-under setting up here for Coutil.
Already feeling that pressure. He went straight to the center as he did last lap. It fended off Austin Hertel this time, but Coutil looks like he's going to slice up the inside of turn 2. Boysen makes easy work of it, doesn't even push the issue. It almost seemed like he lifted to make sure that Coutil could get by and set sail. I think maybe Jeremy Boysen knew he wasn't catching Swenson, but Coutil might be able to.
There's Dyson Pham and Nick Steniford in S2000s running nose to tail downhill towards turn 1, but Boysen in that number 99 and Austin Hertel in the 34 car. They're battling for position behind Coutil, but that's now for third place that they're all scrapping about. And Aaron Lichty in the background of that Cayman is there, and Luke McGrew is not too far back either. Seems like his pace is sort of falling off just a little bit. There's still a long way from home.
I was going to say he's continued to knife up through the traffic. Brian Highcotter is the one whose pace seems a little rough, as he has fallen off the back of that train that is now third on back. So Boysen in the black RSX third, and then Hertel on down, working their way onto the back straightaway. We're coming to right around midpoint of this race.
So can Jeremy Swenson outrun the charging number 82, the season champion from last year? He won 8 races, Eric Coutil did, and won the championship by 4 points back at Gingerman in October. And here comes Luke McGrew powering up alongside him. Neil Tabbs, Honda-powered Mazda Miata. Drag race to the turn 12 area, and McGrew should have the spot here.
Ford versus Honda, but now it's all Mazda brakes, and they're dead even nose to nose on the turn-in point. McGrew with the preferred line hops the curb, leaves a little bit of space in case Neil pushed the issue around the outside. He did not. They're going to slow it in order, and then look at this battle for third. Hertel has found the way around the outside, puts the power down in the 370s. He uses that torque to pull across the nose of Jeremy Boysen. McGrew already aggressive on the inside of Aaron Lichty in the white Cayman.
Lichty will leave him plenty of space. McGrew onto that spot in turn 15 for the race lead. Here's Swenson in that thundering Corvette. Eric Coutil behind him in a buzzing Honda, but he is coming and coming fast through the carousel. Triple Apex right-hander, battle for the lead in GLTC.
I have to imagine this is going to be quick work, but that torque of that Corvette should at least make it a little bit easier. Over-under makes a little bit of a lunge up the inside, checks the brake pedal. You see the brake lights flash and lunges. No ABS in that car, but he makes it work anyway to the lead from 7th place on the grid. This is going to feel a little sweet if he can bring it home after the weekend he's had.
Defenseless. Jeremy Swenson could not hold off that Honda Civic. 2 very different ideologies on how to go fast. We got a bunch of torque and not a whole lot of aero. He's going to use that advantage there on the straightaway, potentially to have a run up the inside, but Coutil's car is fast, and it's got a bunch of downforce to go with it.
This is a heck of a battle. Dyson Pham, Nick Steniford, and George Costambartis down there at the back of the field, but still battling strong. And then this string of cars that have not really separated out, honestly, check out Austin Hertel starting to close in on Jeremy Swenson. We saw Hertel have tire problems in the race number 3. Swenson might be hurting right now.
I'm keeping an eye on Hertel because he was one of the quickest cars all weekend up to the racing. Here, Dyson Pham is a little slow. Nick Steniford will go on by, so Pham pulled out of line. Not sure if there's an issue for that S2000. Boysen holding up the train. He's the cork in the bottle here as Lichty tries to get around because he's got McGrew right behind him, making big work of those mirrors. Up the hill, there's Swenson struggling now. Hertel's going to try to cross over. Big power slide with the torque out of that car.
McGrew lunged up the inside of Lichty in the background while we were watching that big slide. Those guys are really pushing hard now as Swenson has issues.
Yeah, he's got a problem. He's slow, and he's pulling off to the left-hand side of the racetrack, letting the field on by. Look at these 4 cars on top of each other into turn 11. McGrew is through Lichty. A little awkward down there at turn 11 as they try to get things sorted out. But Hertel is through and into 2nd place. Coutil has taken that time and opportunity to just drive away.
Look at Highcotter, a late charge all of a sudden on the back of Emil Tab. That car is coming alive here in the later stages of this race. Aaron Lichty having a look back on Luke McGrew. Did not like that lunge that he made at turn 9, wants the position back at turn 12, but I was going to say McGrew has charged from the back and is in, I would say, contention for a podium here. Tries the outside Mazda, great on the brakes, swings the momentum and keeps the position for now.
On the outside, made it stick. Now turn 13 is back to the right, so this should be an advantage for the Miata. Look at Highcotter up the outside on the brakes, trying to battle Emil Tab. These two have tangoed all weekend long, and they're going to do it again for the last couple laps of this one.
We should say it's 70 degrees here in Austin, Texas. Not a cloud in the sky. This is the hottest the track has ever been for these drivers, and some of the cars with a little more weight are starting to show signs of wear, but not one of them is Austin Hertel this time. He's managed that car much better and is doing a fantastic job. McGrew has broken free from Aaron Lichty, but Brian Highcotter is making himself a major nuisance on the back of Emil Tab in the last 5 minutes of this one.
Chris Forsberg Racing versus the winning formula. We'll see if the new CFR build can get past this MX-5. Look out to the left into turn 20. Backs out. Look at Tab way late on the brakes there. He's got ABS in this car this season, and it's working out great. Now on the tail of his teammate in that Porsche Cayman, use that slipstream up the front straight to help this car out and compete with that 370.
Probably better of a quarter-ton difference between those two cars in overall curb weight, but the 370Z is meant to carry it. We're going to keep an eye out for a white flag so we aren't surprised by the checker this time, but things streaming across the start-finish line, I think for the first time in single file.
And they finally started to sort out, or some semblance of sorting. Eric Hertel just ran the race high, 2:31.6. Look at Luke McGrew on the back of Boysen, that's for third.
That's going to make it work.
Through the left-hander, Boysen's going to stay tucked to the right, jumps the curb on the right, can't make it stick, though McGrew threw into a podium spot from the back of the grid.
Lichty's not going to have the end of that one, though. Runs a little bit wide. This is the section of the track where the Cayman really struggles. It does not have enough front end for these long, sweeping S's. The transitions are okay, but once it gets into turn 6, 7, 8, and 9, he says that thing is just not happy. So you can see how much time he loses in that section of the track, but someone who's not losing as much time as Eric Hertel. He was over 2 seconds slower than his best lap in race number 3 now, so that just examples how hot it is now.
And Aaron Lichty looked like he was driving a school bus through the S's. That Porsche, which would typically be considered a pretty lightweight sports car, is very, very heavy for GLTC, and it struggles there. Emil Tab, power slide on exit, grabs the exit curbing. Now Brian Highcotter sees that as a weakness. He's going to pop out drivers left, and look who's doing the party. Eric Meadows is back.
Eric Meadows is back in a late race charge. McGrew out of frame now. He's checked out of this one. Lichty with the motor. Wow. Just drives right by Jeremy Boysen, and Boysen's car is no slouch in a straight line. He's going to make quick work of this. Does Jeremy Boysen have an issue?
He might. He was a little off pace. I just think the Cayman is that good. It struggles. You saw how bad. We haven't had a camera on Lichty all weekend because he's been leading by 10 seconds, but now you got him in frame. You can really see how much he struggles in the fast and twisty bits and how great it is on the long straightaways. It's so diverse in terms of where it's good and where it's bad. A lot of these other cars are pretty good around the track, but Lichty's is very peak.
Behind them in the background, Brian Highcotter made the move on Emil Tab, worked down into turn 12. He has the point, almost shows the nose on Jeremy Boysen, who's really starting to show signs of not having a lot of front tire left on that car. He's not getting off the corners as we would expect a front-wheel drive car to behave at this point in the race. He seems to be struggling on power down. Highcotter is really getting aggressive, almost thinks about showing the nose in 19.
Backs out of it, thinks better of it. Now Highcotter has finished 4th in races 2 and 3. That is his best finish in the series so far. Again, his first race of the series. Now here comes Eric Meadows up the inside on the winning formula car of Emil Tab. He's through to position. Now Highcotter on Boysen down the front straightaway.
You got to imagine that torque will be king as they come take the white flag. This is the final lap of race 4, our final journey around Circuit of the Americas in 2021 for GLTC. Highcotter takes the position easily over Boysen. He's got a long way to go to catch Lichty. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, Lichty would be P4, so he would be able to tie his best finish of the weekend if Highcotter could get there. But look at Eric Meadows on the back of Boysen now. He's become the cork of the bottle here just a little bit as Emil Tab has dropped way down the order. I didn't think he was going to struggle this bad, but he seems like he's got a little bit of a pace disadvantage here in this race. Meadows certainly doesn't, though, closing back on the 99.
It is a surprise. I am also surprised that Hertel has been able to maintain the pace he has over McGrew. They're very stagnant. The car that's struggling the most right now is Jeremy Boysen, as we see a little smoke from the back of Eric Meadows. Hang on, buddy, it's just one more lap.
It might be a fender rub. He was was mentioning that he was getting rubbed in a couple different places. I think that's what that is. So I think it's just a tire-related issue. There is your leader, Hertel, last year's champion. That car is unbeatable, unstoppable, except when it breaks, and it broke a bunch this weekend. Now it's sorted and it's going fast.
Boys in a little bit wide through turn 10. That's a straight-out flat shot. Emil Tab shows the nose up into the hairpin. He's going to cut off all of his momentum onto the back straightaway, but he's going to try it anyway. Whoa, it's a huge lunge. 3 wide on the exit.
That's going to pinch off, and the 99 pulls back across the nose. Meadows does a great job of backing out of that situation. Emil Tab going to try to salvage this with power down the back straightaway. That was a huge, deep lunge and put him in a real interesting spot there, Tom. They all came out the other side.
Yeah, that was very, very tight stuff on the final lap. Tab with a 2 for 1 in 1 move, 2 positions, and he easily clears these guys. I almost wonder if Boysen's car is having temperature issues because it's usually much faster in a straight line than this. Meadows with a massive lead.
That's
lunge.
a big dive. Oh, man, he made it stick. I think Boysen might have helped facilitate that, but Meadows is through. Move him up 1 spot. Boysen all the way down now, which I think would be 8th spot as we come on through the stadium section here for the final time. But lots of shuffling in that order. Coming back through the carousel, Austin Hertel. His car has lasted this race. Luke McGrew is chasing him down. If this was a half-hour race, I'd put my money on the 5 car here, Tom, but it is not. It's a 15-minute sprint here in Grid Life Touring Cup, and we're coming to the checkers this time by. Emil Tab getting through the 3 of Eric Meadows and defending, but now coming back to the checkers from champion last season to victorious at COTA. So much adversity, and now it pays off with a checkered flag for Eric Hertel. 2nd place, Austin Hertel, his best finish of the weekend. For a new guy, that is a phenomenal, phenomenal first round for Austin Hertel. Luke McGrew